Hey YouTubers, Rob here with a look at another C64 game. This time we're taking a look at Super Hang On. Kind of wanted to take a look at this one because I've been playing the conversion on that came out in the 3DS pretty recently, quite heavily, and I had some fond memories of this when I was younger, and I thought I'll check it out to see if how good they are. So first thing is playing a cracked version, and this is the initial boot up screen. And you've only got two of the tracks selected. Basically, it's one of those cases of you load, and this is sort of the front end, and then you pick. If you want to load the harder ones, America or Europe, you'd load, I think, the other side of the disc or the tape, pick, and it would load those stages. One of those stages in. One of those games where if you want to change stage, you have to restart the computer. So I'm just going to go hit Africa because it's easy and short, so we don't have too long a video in case I do actually play to the end. And we'll let that load. So this conversion was handled by Electric Dreams, which might be a bit of a worry to begin with. Seeing they also did Enduro Racer. I'm not going to run the time cheats. I think it's just depacking. And here we are. Front end wise, it's pretty sparse. You've just got your high scores and a copyright message. So dive in. You've got the music selection screen again. First difference here is that these four songs have nothing to do with the ones in the original arcade game, and I think most of the other conversions. So I'll pick my favourite and let it go. So you can sort of see, basic set of rules, same sort of style, third person behind perspective racer. Races beat the checkpoints. You have the turbo. There's a few little concessions to playability, I guess. You have to actually brake to kill the turbo, which makes things a little harder. Like, there's a good tactic on the arcade game where you can sort of just nestle it, just like press the turbo button, let go, and you consistently get a bit of speed. You can't really do it here because you have to pull the joystick down. The big thing is the frame rate isn't particularly great. It's funny how when you're younger, you're not exposed to everything else as much, you don't notice as much. But I am noticing it now, and it definitely makes the game feel tough. The other thing that's really annoying, and it's pretty minor, but it's still annoying, is if you have a look at the top of the score panel, you'll see the little bar that's S to G for the percentage of how much you've covered each stage and the overall route. It's not entirely accurate with the little blocks. I mean, if you look at it now, I should almost have finished stage 2, and I'm probably not even halfway through it. And that's, when you're playing this sort of game where you've got to keep your eyes on the road, it's, the fact that you could look up there and sort of say, oh, I've just about finished this stage, makes it it's a little hard to tell that. So you get a little worried when you're especially running out of time. So there's that. Controls, I think they respond pretty well. I mean, the game really calls out for an analog control scheme. Worst case scenario, doing something like the Amiga and Atari ST versions where you use the mouse rather than the classic digital joystick. So that's probably the first thing. I mean, controls are left, right to turn, up to accelerate, down to brake, fire to activate the turbo. At least you only have to just tap it when you hit 280, and so when you hit 280, you'll see the speed flash red, and then you can just tap the button and the turbo goes on. Graphics-wise, it's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. The bikes themselves, both your own and the opposing bikes, look nice, and the scaling's not, the fake scaling's not too bad. But the road, there's no separation of the road. You can sort of see the road's all one colour, and there's fairly basic set of colours used on the roadside obstacle to make them look rather plain, which combined with the frame rate issues just makes it look a bit unpolished. And then there are things like this, just this light green just looks really garish. to be honest. As I said, the music, pardon me, the music is great. I quite like it, but I like some of the tracks. This one, Dirt Track, has to be my favourite. But what's annoying is that it's like a 3-channel. It's using all 3 channels of a SID chip, but there's sound effects overlaying on top, and it's, I'd rather have. I mean, I'm thankful for the fact that there's no constant engine noise, because unless you do the engine noise properly, it usually sounds terrible, and to have that repeat. So I'm happy for that, but I wish that, you wouldn't lose a channel of the music as a result. Now, I remember it's there where I feel like you're actually fighting the corner, which is, I don't know if that's just frame rate, or it might just be a combination of things. But, I mean, to be honest, I think this is probably another one of those games that probably sits in the why would they even try to convert it pile to begin with. And I mean, it's passable. Like, it's, you can actually play it. You can actually play it to completion. The music's nice. The sprites are okay, not so much the backgrounds. But yeah, I think it's... Can we make this? Yes, last stage. Oh. It's nice to throw that little goal ahead message up there. That sounded like it, I think it came up pretty early in the stage, which is a little disappointing. Oh, there we are. So there we are. That's bang on the C64. It's one of those conversions that, I mean, it's. I think it's an okay game. It's not great, and I mean, I don't think this is going to be remembered as an all-time classic. And it definitely feels like it doesn't use the hardware that well. I mean, I think that in the hands of another team, could a better job have been done? Most likely. I mean, it's a 1986 release, so it's still fairly early on in the life of the machine. So maybe someone else could have done some better work on the computer. I'm not sure, but it's an interesting. It's interesting to play. It's pardon me. It's all right. Not particularly great. I think that, I mean, if you really had to play this on a home computer, you have to play one of the 16-bit versions, or just get a 3DS and download the 3D version off the eShop, which is probably the best way to play it these days. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed that. I look forward to bringing you another game soon.